What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another weekly night of our Tuesday Night Fish Talk. I'm going to give it a few minutes here and get some people in, get some people up on panel, and we will get started. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope everybody had a fantastic time at the 2023 Catfish Conference, or should I say Catfish Crappie Conference. Let's see here. All right. Let's see. We got two people in here right now. Who do we got? All right, y'all. So while we wait for others to get in here, what was your favorite vendor or favorite part of the conference this year? Did you feel like there was anything that went over the top of everybody else? Alyssa, what's going on, girl? What is going on? Becca, looks like y'all did an awesome job this year. Man, it felt like we did an awesome job. That booth was busy the whole freaking weekend. I was glad to get off that concrete and sit down. The last I heard from Hervé was about 43,000 people through the door. That is an absolutely insane number. It definitely felt like there was 43,000 people there throughout the whole weekend. Alyssa, is Jeremy wanting to get up on panel yet? We got 3 in here right now. Let's see if we can get some more in here. Rebecca from Carolina Lakeways blew you away with kindness and a positive, uplifting vibe. Man, that is 100% Rebecca every day. And that's why I love being a part of this Carolina Lakeways family. To me, it's not another company. It's not another pro staff. It's just it's part of my extended family. I mean, she's an absolute sweetheart. Jamie's a complete stand-up gentleman. And you put those two together, and it's nothing but good positive vibes all the way around. Miss Rebecca is very sweet. That she is. So, Alyssa, did you want up on panel? I know Jeremy said he was going to hop up, but I'm not seeing him in the backstage yet. Okay, he'll be in soon. Right on. We're just going to give this a few minutes and let people come in. If you all want to share this out, that would be perfect. See if we can get a few more people in here. And she has an awesome name too. Right. I believe that would be something a Becca would say. No, those two are a very uplifting, positive family, and I wish the absolute best for everything that they do. I mean, they deserve the moon and the sun. I mean, they're an awesome bunch. Alyssa, what would you say would be your favorite part of the show? Did you feel like anything really stood out from the Kansas City show? They had a lot of kid friendly that they did. I was kind of caught off guard by how much kid friendly stuff that they had. Being my first Catfish conference, I wasn't sure what to expect. Nebraska Wildcats, what's up? I wasn't sure what quite to expect, but I was very happy to see how much stuff that they actually did have for the kids. You know, they had the inflatables, they had the dock shooting, they had a lot of good stuff for the kids. A lot of the vendors had a lot of good things, you know, for the kids and the youth as well. Watching the MLT series live, yeah, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. I didn't get to watch it as much as I wanted to, but it was definitely cool watching that. Murray Glove watching Lexan. Yeah, Lexan's an absolute sweetheart. She is an absolute sweetheart. Her and Samuel both. Cat King there was cool. Yeah, that I was. I didn't realize that the Cat King got took over and was under all new ownership. I thought it was just under a new management, but no, it is under a whole new ownership. Nebraska Wildcats, I think they're going to still try and have it. They just have a lot of things they need to work out. When I talked to Hervé last, he wasn't 100% set that he wasn't going to have it. He just wanting to have a better show than they had last year. So we got to figure out how to make that happen. Yeah, you're exactly right, Alyssa. I don't think I met one. Let me rephrase that. I don't think I talked to one negative person that I couldn't take out on the boat for a day and spend a day with. Everett Thiles. Boom, baby. What's up, Everett? Welcome to the house. Everett, you missed a fantastic show this weekend. It was the biggest one yet. And if anybody doesn't know, we are officially going to be back in Tennessee in August 11th and 12th. We are going to be at the Smoky Mountain Fish Expo, and I will be there with the Carolina Lake Weights booth. We are well prepared, and we are going to make this the biggest, baddest booth yet. We got a lot of tricks up our sleeve for this one. August 11th and 12th in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, Alyssa. Put it on your calendar. I'm not going to want to miss it. I don't think it's going to be as big as CatCon, but we're going to make it big. You're river fishing? You are right now, or you're going to be then? It looks like somebody's comment was filtered. Remember to keep this a very positive, uplifting channel, guys. We do have a filter on comments. All right. There's Mr. Jeremy. Or Wicked Adventures. What's going on, brother? Alyssa, I don't know whose it was. It just said we had a filter commented for profanity. James asked me about doing a booth with cat soccer, but I don't think we can make it. Jeremy, can you hear me all right? I can't tell if you're frozen on my end or... I hear noise coming from over there.
Sound like a robot.
I can't
tell if you're frozen on my end or...
Are you frozen?
Nope, we lost him. Let's try this again. He's definitely froze. Yep, that's what I got. Jeremy, let's try this again. Hop back in here and we will... Nope. We got Kayak Mike coming in.
I ended up being late anyway.
No. We're not going to count that. You were here waiting half an hour before everybody even got here. What's going on, Kayak Mike?
Not much. How many people get on so far? What's going on?
Oh, we got 5 sitting in here right now. We're just kind of getting started, waiting for people to come in, and so we're just kind of lightly discussing what everybody's favorite part was of the whole conference. Did you have a favorite part that kind of stood out to you?
My favorite part, I'm trying to think. It was really cool how many people already knew about our trail. That was really cool. Having both my eyes on the last day, that was fun.
Yeah, I seen you kind of had a little incident and had to have Becca doctor you up a little bit.
Yeah, she saved my weekend. If it wasn't for her, I would have went home either Thursday after setup or Friday during the day.
Oh man,
100%.
That makes for a long weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, so I guess you're kind of new to our channel and our show. Why don't you kind of explain what you have, what you do, what your online series is, and kind of just tell these guys a little bit more about you here.
Yeah, sure. I'm Kayak Mike. I mainly fish Southwest Ohio. So I have the luxury of fishing all 4 seasons. I'm on the Carolina Lake Wades pro staff with Josh, and I unfortunately can't promote them quite yet because up here about April-ish is when we can normally start dragging again, effectively, consistently. Every now and then we can drag before then, but you have to really pinpoint it. But yeah, I run a YouTube channel named Kayak Mike. My presence on all social media is essentially Kayak Mike. I run a national trail for kayakers. This upcoming weekend, we're actually in Nickajack. We're fishing Nickajack Reservoir. The trail has bolstered a little bit. We have $1,000 guaranteed the first and $200 guaranteed to big fish every single event. That's before entries. Entry fee for the kayakers is $150. 25 of that goes to big fish. 20 of that goes to the trail race, and $100 of that total 150 goes to the pot for that event. Also, at the end of that trail, there's 6 total events. The most points at the end of that trail is guaranteed $1,000, and again, that's before entries for the national trail. Not Marine has put up $1,000 to the point race winner, and as more entries throughout the year, we'll add spots to win for that point race. So that's really cool. And then there's a total of 4 different scenes we do. There's an Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky month long that happens every single month. There's a Scioto River 24-hour event if you live in Ohio that happens every month. That's for bank and for kayakers. The Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, that's for bank and kayakers. And then we hold a slot tournament every month. It's your 7 biggest fish up to but not breaking 30 inches. That is bank, kayak, or boat. That's a $40 entry. And that happens every single month as well. So those are the 4 events that we host monthly / daily when they come around. Those are my socials. I work with Jackson Kayak. I'll plug Jackson Kayak. I'm on the Jackson Kayak Pro staff. Big fan of their kayaks because they're the best kayak catfishing platform that's currently out there. I don't think that's really arguable. And that's not a shameless plug. I truly believe that. And shout out to them for being the only kayak represented at this past year's CatCon. You know what? I'll make that my favorite part. My favorite part of CatCon, Josh, was the fact that we had a kayak dealer there. Not Marine was the dealer, and they were selling Jackson kayaks. That was my favorite part to finally have representation since I've been going. I'm sure there has been representation in the past, but since I've been going to the CatCon, there has not been kayak representation, and we finally had it this year with Not Marine and Jackson Kayak. There we go. That was my favorite part.
That sounds like a fair trade.
Yeah.
God, I gotta say my favorite part might sound a little selfish, but my favorite part I definitely gotta say was the company that we had come into the Carolina Lakes Wakes booth. If a lot of you don't know, we had Casey Nelms show up. We got to finally meet the legend Casey himself. If you don't know who Casey is, he is basically the man that started dragging for catfish. He's the one who set the catfish scene to what it is today. It was a huge honor to meet him in person and shake hands with him. And, for him to believe in our product and take some of our product home, it was just a huge boost to know that we're headed in the right direction with what we have. So, Everett says, my favorite part was not going and missing. Yeah, there was a little bit of overhang over the weekend. All right. All right. Now we got you, Jeremy. What's going on, brother? You're moving this time.
I'm trying to figure this shit out.
Is anyone else's throat still extremely sore from this weekend from talking so much?
Yes, I've talked so much this weekend. I got home. I said 3 words to my wife. Good night. I love you. I passed
it. Yeah. My throat's still killing me. Like I get my balls busted all the time because like Ryan does a seminar. My name's never on the seminar. Ryan does it, and I end up talking the 80% of it. I feel terrible. I just can't shut up though. That's the problem.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a fun weekend. God, ever put in here with the whole Steve Douglas thing. I mean, I don't want to get into too much drama with this, but yeah, there was definitely, we lost Jeremy again, but there was definitely just an overhanging cloud over a lot of people that I noticed, with the whole Steve Douglas and Monster Rod Holders issue. I think they've got some things they need to work out with the Catfish Conference, but I hope they get it worked out and can come to amends and get more vendors in there. I think the CatCon is a great show with a lot more potential. I think if we could get it worked out where there was no drama and we could get everybody in here and no favoritism to one person or another or one side or another or one vendor. I think CatCon has a lot of potential to grow in the next couple of years. So,
agreed. I'm gonna see my. If that's an AB conversation, I'm gonna see my way out of it.
Right.
Everett, only because
Facebook, bro.
Yeah, I don't have a dog in the race. I don't want to speak on either side. I'm neutral.
Yep. That's where I'm at. I'm going to be neutral. Yes, I have Monster Rod Holders. Do I know enough of what happened to put my opinion in there? No. I just hope that they get it worked out before the next show and we can make the next show a positive one.
Amen. Yes. Yes.
Becca, thank you. Alyssa agrees. Yep. Yep. I think we all agree. I mean, it caused a little overhanging cloud on everybody, and I hope they can get it worked out. So, moving on, I believe we had
Hi, Becca. I saw your message in there.
one, two, three. I want to say
Uh,
we had about 7 different rod dealers there this year. Not counting the crappie side because I didn't even really make my way over to the crappie side. Um, just God, there was a lot of great vendors this year.
mm-hmm.
We had Dry Creek Marine had Monster Cat. We had well, you guys were there with Jackson Kayaks. We had now I'm drawing a blank on who had the G3s, but
Not Marine.
not Marine. There we
Yep.
go.
They were the same dealer as us.
Oh, they were with you guys. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So not Marine technically was selling G3s, Jacksons, and Trophy Cat Tackle all at the same time.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, Jeremy, let's try this again. What's going on, bro?
Is it working?
There we go. Now I think we got you. So, all right, what's going on? So, Jeremy? What do you guys say would be your favorite part of the whole thing?
Just meeting people that I've been talking to online that I haven't met in person.
Meeting our sponsors for our tournament trip.
Yeah, meeting some of the guys that sponsor the tournament trail, stuff like that.
There we go. Yeah. God, I can't even think of. The people that we've been talking to for the last year and a half on TikTok, YouTube, finally being able to shake hands, meet them in person, and get to know them on a whole nother level was just kind of the icing on the cake for everybody, I believe.
For sure.
So, Trophy Cat was there at Not Marine. Yes, I believe they were, Everett.
Yeah, I went and talked to PJ. He's a good guy.
Right. So, kayak, what? I guess so. Your Jackson kayaks, what kind of sets them apart from some of the competition? I'm not really familiar with kayaks. I want to get into them, but what really sets them apart from the other ones that makes them more stable?
So as far as stability, I'm going to go into what sets them apart from the industry, but that also has to do with their stability. What sets them apart is they have every level of kayak for every species at every entry point. And what I mean is, so I call it the Porsche, the Jackson Nar. It's a pedal drive kayak. It's $4,200. It's one of the best kayaks out there if you're into pedal drive fishing, etc. But they also offer a kayak called the Bite, which is $1,000. It's like an entry. We'll call it a quote unquote entry level kayak. It's one of the most stable kayaks out there, and it's only $1,000, and it has all sorts of rigging options. They have the U-Pick, which is only $1,600. They have the Take Two, which is arguably the most stable, biggest kayak on the market, and it's only $1,600. It's essentially a small boat, honestly, at that point in time. But what sets them apart is there's other brands. You go to their cheapest kayak, it's like $4,500 because they're just. And if you took just a snapshot of every single kayak and put them on top of each other, they all look identical. They just put a different letter and number next to them. They all look identical, and there's no real big difference amongst them. Whereas Jackson, like I said, they have the Porsche that is built for speed and going and being on the move, and it's longer and narrow. And then they have the thing like the Take Two, which is wide and thick and stable and everything, and it completely different price ranges. So if you're new to the sport and Ryan and I, whenever we do these seminars, we always tell people don't get a starter kayak. What we mean by that is don't get one of those box brands. They're just not made the same. I had a bad experience. I flipped one, it broke. I flipped one on my third trip. But like the thing with Jackson, even if you get their cheapest one, their best kayak and their cheapest kayak are all made out of the same material. You're not going to break it, you're not going to bust it, and you still have a quality platform to fish off of. And they make V bottoms and flat bottom kayaks. So the difference there is like a V bottom kayak, it's it looks like that and it's built for speed. But they also make flat bottom kayaks that are extremely stable, and they come in every single size and price range. And that's why I like Jackson. You don't have to come in at $5,500 just to buy a boat. You can come in at $1,000 and still be competitive and beat all those other kayakers out there who are fishing.
Right. That sounds like you got a fair deal on those Jackson kayaks. Just kind of not necessarily trying to undercut the other people, but just trying to get the customers a fair price.
Mm-hmm.
So, El Gato, what's up, Slime Fluther?
What's up? What's up, boys?
Chris?
How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Good.
We're doing fine. Kind of like Kayak Mike says, just trying to kind of get our voice back and get our throats cleared out after talking for 36 hours.
I'm still tired.
Yep. So, Chris, I was just kind of going around asking the guys kind of what their favorite part was, that kind of stood out more than other, a certain vendor or a section of CatCon that stood out more than others, kind of a favorite section or a favorite vendor. What did you have?
That's easy for me. Carolina Lake Weights, just being a part of that was cool. Seeing, the exponential growth that's happening over there, the recognition that the guys are getting. I also like, Parks Planner Boards, Kevin. I like seeing him. I liked hanging out with the Mad Cats guys. I liked seeing my son. I thought he did real good. I was very nervous on how he was going to respond and react to all that. I taking him off on a 3-day deal where you don't know what the hell is going to happen. It was nerve-wracking, wondering what's he going to do all day. I'm supposed to work, but man, he killed it. He was, man, he did great. So I was proud of him, probably most of all.
Yeah, y'all showed up after your flight. I heard a little bit of whistling. It's kind of like a tornado was coming over, and pretty soon I seen Axe and Jackson just flying in. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Let's do this thing, man.
I was nervous
because Saturday night I was astonished. He did phenomenal.
I was nervous because 2 minutes in, he was already trying to climb the pipe going up to the ceiling. I was like, oh man, it usually takes him a little longer to get riled up, but 2 minutes in, he was ready to start swinging from the rafters. So, but he didn't break anything. He didn't piss anybody off too bad. So I don't know how many guys came over and said, your son is on top of the bounce house. So
yeah, that one I missed, but yeah, like I said, Jackson loved the bounce house.
Yeah. Whoever idea it was to bring that bounce house, thank you.
Right.
That was a lifesaver for me.
I seen comments when they released the dates for 2024 already. I seen comments, but we love the bounce house. Just move it away from the seminar area, but please keep it. I think the kids enjoyed it. I gotta agree. I've seen a lot of kids in that thing. I think that was a huge lifesaver for a lot of parents over the weekend.
My son made a ton of friends. He probably made friends with every kid that was there. So yeah, it's going to be cool to go back and do that stuff again. And, he'll be connected with those boys, I think, from now on. So
yeah, I'm excited to kind of see where he goes in the future with Flathead Luke. Kind of see where both of those kids kind of see where they go in a year or two.
I think Catch the Fever really pushes Luke. So, Mad Cat's just invited Jackson on the team, so I feel like he's going to get a lot more backing this next year. It'll be interesting and fun to see how it goes next round when he's got a big company backing him. Because he's been doing big things. I love Luke. He does well too, but I'm partial to my son. I'm out there with him every week. I see what he's doing. And
Right.
I mean, he's breaking records at 7 and just killing it, man.
Right.
So,
I mean, how many 7-year-olds do we know that has a PB of 72 pounds?
yeah, and also he's got the junior state record for Texas for Blue Cat. He's got our home lake record. He's got the catch and release record. He's got another lake record on a different fishery. So he's a lucky little sucker. I don't know how he got so lucky hitting that, this last year, but man, he's been killing it on fire. So
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
gonna
So
try
I
to keep
believe
it rolling.
that's just it. Keep the momentum rolling and keep the kid on them fish. So I believe the new dates for 2024 are February 22nd and 23rd, if I'm not mistaken. So put it in your calendars. We got that. We're gonna be back there with the Carolina Lakeways crew again as well. If you're just tuning in, we're also gonna be August 11th and 12th. We're gonna be at the Smoky Mountain Fishing Expo in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, with them as well. So I will be there with them for that one. As far as this is up for everybody. I mean, as far as any improvements vendor wise, do you feel like the layout was kind of cramped? Could they have expanded things? Could they have brought more vendors in? Where do you guys see any room for improvement for the CatCon for next year?
I'll be honest. I think that they play favorites. I think that they probably put people. They hide them in the back if you're not in the right clique. I think that probably they need to maybe, I don't know, just shuffle it and let it fall where it is. But also, some of my sponsors aren't allowed to go because of competition with the guys running it. I think that's kind of, I realize it's business, but excluding somebody like multi-bars or, SmackDown rod holders, not allowing them to go, I don't think that's right. SmackDown's the best rod holders and, rod racks or rod holders in the industry.
I agree.
Why shouldn't they be allowed to go just because Steve's got Monster, I think he probably needs to allow just everybody. It should be a free-for-all. If it's really the CatCon where everybody's welcome, then he shouldn't worry about his competition so much. He's doing well. And then multi-bar, I feel like they should be there. They're the premier rod rack. I was disappointed that I wasn't going to get to hang out with those guys. I'm sure there's some other ones that aren't allowed to go as well, but that's really the only thing I thought. I thought it was very well run. I don't really know anything that could be changed other than just allow allow those guys to be a part of it. Don't exclude somebody just because they're your competition.
Yeah, I mean, you have 10 different rod companies competing there. Why can't we have all the rod holder and T-bar guys all there? Rodzilla should be there. All of them should be there.
I agree. So that was really the only thing that I think that probably. Other than that, I thought everything went perfect and was handled really well.
Right.
I know some of the guys leading up were complaining that they couldn't get in contact. They were just in the dark. They didn't know what was even going on until they showed up. I didn't have to deal with that, but I did hear some of our sponsors saying that it wasn't just one of them. So.
Yep. I had heard from multiple vendors, on Thursday when we were setting up that they didn't have any idea coming into Louisville where they were supposed to be, what time they were supposed to be there. They just had no instructions until one person got there and found out that they could start setting up and got their badges and all this and could pass the message on. I think that could definitely be improved. The info info going to vendors, to advertising, to customers.
I
Right.
think it's really nerve-wracking for somebody these are all small companies. They got so much on the line. They've planned so far in advance. They've put down all this money that a lot of them can't really afford. Got a lot riding on it for somebody to not say, "Hey, this is what's going on." It was
Right.
But that thing grew exponentially. So I just told the guys, well, it's probably grown more faster than they really had any idea. Well, it's just gotten bigger than they could handle. So,
Right. I agree. I mean, I'm not sure where it was when they first started it, but for hearing the last number of about 43,000 people for the weekend.
they were saying it's going to be 15,000.
Yeah. And then last minute, Hervé come up and he's like, I don't know where we're going to be, but we've had 3 days of crazy straight sales. He says, we could be up here. And
I was pleasantly surprised that it went so smooth and as well as it did when everyone was just worried and,
right.
going into it.
Yeah, I think it was a great show. I do have to kind of agree with you on the whole vendoring issue. If you're, I believe it should be open to everybody. There should be no favoritism put in this. Bring all these multiple vendors in. If you want to be number one or stay at number one, you're going to have to just work a little bit harder at that show to stay on number one.
Well, and it was even bad to the point that Nate over at Tackle Bandit told me he can't have SmackDowns on the table.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yep, I seen Sea-Arc. They showed up with some SmackDown on one of their boats, and they had to take them off. As far as the multi-bars go, I was told that they were only allowed to sell 7 in the building. They could only have 7 sets of multi-bars the whole weekend.
I noticed Mad Cats had multi-bars. I don't know if they snuck them in. I don't know. When I talked to Matt last year, he said, I don't know if they're going to allow me in there because of, the rod deal. But I guess he loosened up because he was not going to allow some of these other rods in there when he first started. But now if you're not going to have these top companies, is it really, CatCon?
Right. I mean, most of your people are coming to get those Meat Hunter rods, the Mad Cats rods, the TFR. They want these big name rods, and if you're not going to allow them the choice when they go, you're going to miss out on a lot of money and a lot of customers coming through that door.
I think a lot of people want to come to go see the Catch the Fever or the Mad Cats.
Right.
They wouldn't have even come if a lot of guys went there to get those rods and end up buying, another $1,000 worth of crap while they're there.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. I mean, if you just took a moment and looked around at how many rods were floating through the air all day long. I mean, it wasn't
What's crazy is a lot of these companies
constantly all weekend.
What's crazy, a lot of the companies, when they were done, they bought more rods to take home. So I don't know if you went over there to Mad Cats, they had 30,000 rods or something lined up against that back wall that were leaving the show in somebody else's trailer.
Holy
cow.
Sold
those just separate from the show. I'm like, holy cow.
That's insane. I had heard that they had an order of 600 rods, but I missed the 30,000 one.
Yeah, they actually, I mean, that trailer, I think they said had almost 30,000 pounds of crap in it when they brought it. And it was almost empty when they left.
Wow. I guess good for them. I think, Jamie and Rebecca, they fared really well with their stuff. They brought a ton of stuff and they didn't have a whole lot to take home. Most of it was just a few weights here and there and a couple rigs, but
all the companies I talked to did well.
Yep, I agree. Jeremy, was there anybody that you kind of spoke to that was struggling, or I mean, did you see anybody that was kind of having a hard time more than others?
No, we even went over and talked to, what was that one guy? Yeah, the Blue River guys that were selling the Asian carp, they were running out of carp. We went to go grab a couple before we left because we're going to hit the river on the way home, and they were getting low.
That's crazy. I think he's got a great idea for having an invasive species problem. Being able to find a way to use them other than just dispatching them and throwing them on the bank, to rot or whatever. Because in a lot of our states that the four of us fish, it's actually illegal to throw them back in the water, but it's also illegal to throw them on the bank. So it's like, what do you do here? I think he's found a great solution to that invasive species. Is take them home, make bait, and preserve it and sell it off. So.
And they were like really good. Awesome.
Oh, yeah, they were really good people. We talked to them for a while.
Yeah, I wanted to slip over there, but
I wish I would have, because when I got home, I saw on my Facebook feed, they said, hey, make sure you come over to our booth. Oops.
Right. Right.
I know.
The first thing his wife said to Alyssa when she went over there is, I don't even like fishing, but.
Yeah. Well, I guess he found a way to make his wife happy. Go fishing and
you know what? But that sweet lady goes and like wraps carp in her basement every night. Like that's a freaking awesome wife.
I bet their house stinks.
I agree. So Chris, we had the legend in our booth over the weekend.
Yeah, that was pretty
Casey
awesome.
Nelms, man. That was a huge stake in the ground for Carolina Lake Weights. I mean,
I saw him over there he was over at the concession area, and I'm like, I recognize you from from the magazines back in the 90s. He's like, it's like, are you Casey Nelms? And he's like, yeah. I was like, you got to come over here to the Carolina Lake Weights booth before you leave. So I was surprised that he actually came over there and talked with us for so long, but
right.
what a cool dude, I mean, I don't know how many times he probably told his story that weekend, but he didn't mind sitting and chatting with us for 30, 45 minutes.
Yeah, he's a heck of a stand-up guy from what I understood of him and met of him, and I don't think he had one problem talking to people at that deal. I'm sure he's probably talked to a whole lot more people in a single building than that. But yeah, I think it was a very overall a stand-up show. I think there was a few there's definitely room for some improvement in certain areas, but as far as vendors go, I think they did a good job of spacing everybody out. But I think it does go back to favoritism on who got put where in the building.
Yeah, definitely.
I think to me, I think they should have a layout, and it's first come, first serve. You want this spot? Okay, this much. You got it. Once you pay
that'd
for it,
probably be. Some of them might be even worth more than others. I mean, give
Right.
somebody else a deal if they're back in the corner or whatever. But
Yep.
It was. I mean, I did see that they put the major ride companies away from each other. So I think that that was intentional. I mean, probably smart. For whatever reason, the ride companies, they tend to bang heads, but from my experience at the show, everybody got along great. And a lot of the guys that normally are, not talking so highly of the other guy, that everybody got along. I mean,
yeah, I didn't hear of anything really going on between vendors as far as rod companies go, but I agree. That was kind of one of my first thoughts. Is I noticed that they'd put the major companies separate, and not by just a couple booths apart. I mean, they had them in opposite corners.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think the layout wise, I think it was good. They probably could have fit a few more over on the crappie side.
Yeah, I actually didn't even go down there. I mean, went down there and looked for my son, but I didn't even look at the booth. So I was looking for him.
Yeah,
I
just
never
made
got
one-
a chance to really check that out, but
Yeah, I just made one loop around there just to kind of check it out real quick, and I didn't really look at vendors. I just noticed as you got to that one end, it was starting to get pretty empty. They definitely had quite a few more vendors in there.
Did anyone do the dock shotting?
No, I never got a chance.
I never had a chance to go look at it. I thought that was a neat concept. I never got to go do it. At the Columbus show, they did like that little trout pond, like shows, you know what I mean? What you gotta do is you gotta sneak a power bait in there in your pocket and throw power bait on there, because like those little flies they give you never catch nothing. You gotta throw a little power bait on there. But yeah, I was just curious if anyone did the dock shotting. Was there like a contest or anything with the dock shot, or how did that work? You just came up and just casted a. Does anybody know?
all I heard was at the beginning of the show, Kevin came on the loudspeaker and said, "Can somebody who knows how to dock shoot go down to the dock shooting area and teach Catfish Dude how to dock shoot?" And that was the only thing I heard of it. Now I did go over there with Epic. He was going to show me his setup that he built, and he thought it was over there in the crappie deal, and he's like, I'm turned around. I guess it is over in the cat. He was thinking he had to move his whole setup that he built, but we just went over there, glanced, and then kept on moving. So that was the extent of me seeing that area. I don't know. It looked like they had a little, like a dock. I never even really looked at it, so I don't really know. Did it have water in it?
I couldn't tell you, and
Yeah,
I wasn't.
I think it had water in it, but it was just like a little platform, kind of like a little deck or a dock, or even like a little porch. You know, that you just.
I was thinking they were going to have fish, but no.
I just seen it was a pool and had a little bit of water in there, but that's the extent that I checked it out.
That's something I would like to see more of, is more practical challenges.
Yes.
A few years back, and I get this, and it drives me insane when I hear this. Insurance won't let us do it. I suggested let's do, dude, all the bank guys, everyone claims they can cast the farthest. I said, let's do a casting competition. We throw a 2-ounce weight. Let's go in the parking lot and let's measure this stuff. Let's put people on a pedestal, because everyone on YouTube's like, oh, I can cast 100 yards. Like, or they'll say like, that's 75 yards away and I just hit it. And I'm just like, that was 35 yards away at tops. I would love to see more practical challenges. And the award ceremony that Palmetto put on was awesome. But
yeah, that was fantastic.
Include like, okay, so he has his voted on award ceremonies, but then also include like farthest cast, you know, kids farthest cast, practical challenges that we do in everyday catfishing, like the dock shot for crappie. Like, you could make some kind of game out of that and have some form of reward. Casting, like get people out in the parking lot Saturday at 2 p.m. and we'll have a casting competition for an hour. You know what I mean? Something along those lines I think would be cool.
I agree. Yeah, most accurate cast at 40 yards or something, like, you know, really stretch it out there.
Do something really cool. Yeah. It doesn't have to be farthest. Like, accurate. Yeah, more practical events I think would be neat in the Catfish Conference.
Yeah, I'd like to see some kids type stuff like cast net throwing competition, or just kids cast, the kids casting, because. I mean, 10 and under or something like that. See these little kids try to cast, because it's fun. I love watching my son try to cast. Now, he will bird nest one occasionally. But
yeah.
And if they lose the rod out of their hand.
He got on top of the T-top on my last one, was sending it. And I was impressed. I was like, damn, boy, I'm going to have to let you start casting. But after about the fifth one, it was bird nested pretty good. But
yeah, no, I think more activities, even especially for the youth. I think after one day, a lot of these kids are getting tired of the inflatables. They're getting tired of the if you only have two things for these kids to do for 2 full days, by the end of the first day, that's when they start running amok. And I think Jackson handled it great.
Yeah, he was lucky. He became good friends with some of those other hardcore catfish kids.
Yeah.
So he was over, you know, playing with the rods, and they were grabbing, you know, pulling drag. One kid was down the way holding it, pulling. Older boys would hold it, and the little ones would, you know, hoe off and try to reel the other kid in. So I sat over there and watched them do that a while, and they entertained themselves. And then, you know, I thought that was cool to see them just kind of doing their own thing without having somebody to say, hey, now go to the bounce house, or, you know, they found a way to entertain themselves.
Yep, I agree. So
it was interesting, Josh. I took my son over to Mad Cats, and he had 2 rods. And he's like, I want some of these 10-footers, Dad. And he's got the 10-footers, and they're up in the ceiling. And I'm like, Dad's about to buy some 10-footers, and I don't even get to take them home because the tips are going to be broken off. And Matt's like, you can't break those rods. He can do whatever he wants with them. And then we were over at Tackle Bandit's booth, and he had a couple of Danny King rods. And Jeremy's like, your son's you're about to buy some Danny King rods. And this was 10 minutes after we'd been over at Mad Cats, and he'd said, he ain't going to break those rods. I was like, well, they ain't Mad Cats, so better put those down so I don't have to freaking buy them.
Yeah. I think you guys are kind of on the right track. I think, you know, more activities for our youth, more competition, even through the adult anglers.
I think a lot of the adults like seeing the kids do crap. You know, it's makes you feel like a kid, or remember how it was when you were a kid. Because I think all of us probably were doing this when we were young, and now you look, how many kids are there? Very few. Yeah, dads just don't take their kids fishing like they did when we were like, I don't even know if it was the dads taking us. We just went out and did it on our own at 7, 8. You know, now you can't just let your kid go off to the pond at 7, 8 years old. Times have changed, and it's a lot of work. And dads are like, no, he's staying at home. I'm gonna go fishing. So,
and for us, it's even tougher because, and this isn't to like crap on any other species. Like to be successful at catfishing, you have to physically work. You don't like to be like genuinely successful at trophy catfishing. You have to physically work. You don't buy a couple minnows or a couple plastic baits and go to your local pond and successfully catch trophy catfish. You have to throw your cast net. You have to learn how to catch all those. So to be a successful trophy catfisherman, you actually have to learn how to catch all the other species because that's the bait. So you don't have the luxury of learning how to catch one fish. You have to learn how to catch every fish in the river because your fish that you're targeting eats all those fish, and that's your bait. So and I think that's the problem with getting youth in is it's not that they're not willing to work. That's not what I'm saying. It's the attention span. Me at that age, if somebody told me I had to go catch bait for an hour before I could even target my fish, I'd be like, get the hell out of here. Give me a worm. I'll catch panfish all day. You know, you know what I mean?
There's a lot of adults that won't do it, Mike. They're like,
exactly.
I'm going to use chicken. I'm like, good. I mean, okay.
You go right ahead.
I'm going to go get fresh bait.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you want to be good at it, you got to know where to be able to locate the bait. And that's the first piece of the puzzle. And it's,
but that goes back to the games, like you said, like the cast net competition for the kids. That would be perfect because there would be incentive to teach the kids how to throw it. Even a 3-4 foot cast net, it doesn't have to be big. Like a 3 or 4 foot, like incentive, that kind of stuff to like teach the kids. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, PETA probably wouldn't be for this. I was gonna say throw a couple like shad or bluegill in a pond and let kids cast net. But all right. Forget I just said that. We're tipping into animal cruelty there. Hey, cast netting fish over and over and over again in a pond or in a little pool. Yeah, forget I just said that. It sounds cool on paper. Forget I just said that.
Hey, man, this isn't the county fair. I mean, we're in Kentucky. I mean, you get PETA the heck out of here.
I mean, not even PETA. I just mean
gonna run them off.
Yeah, I just imagine somebody walked in and you were constantly ripping a couple bluegills out with a cast net. I think people might get a little upset with that. Actually, yeah, forget that idea.
So, but Jeremy, you got any ideas of where they could expand? For next year, going along with the youth stuff, the adult competition or anything. I mean, you guys.
No, other than what Chris touched on allowing all those other vendors to come out. I mean, it's a cat con. We need all the cat companies there. And just the fact that any of these companies would battle with each other is a joke to me. I mean, we could all get along. I have 2 different hook companies sponsoring my tournament series. Neither one of them give a damn. So,
right. Yeah, I think there's plenty of pie to go around. There's a piece for everyone.
I mean, we all like different things. We all have different things feel different to us in our hands. So there's a place for all of them. They all could exist.
I think there's so many new guys coming in, and it's still ultra competitive starting out, but with the amount of new guys coming in, and these companies, they don't have to compete as hard for business, because I mean, you can go to my lake, and where I would be maybe see 1 or 2 anglers in the winter before, now I'll see 12, and that's in a matter of 3 years. So, I mean, it's grown, 3, 4, 500% in just 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And
just COVID alone brought on a lot of new people because they had nothing else to do.
Right.
And in catfishing, you got to buy a ton of freaking gear. To do it. I mean, you can go do it with a couple of poles, but if you're going to be serious about it, it takes a mountain of gear to go do it the right way.
Yeah. Well, like, I love demon dragons, but I really like the brutes over their little ones. And then I went and talked to PJ with Trophy Cat, and I seen his little floats that he has that rattle, and I really like those. So you're going to see both of them companies in my boat this year.
I use a variety. I'm with Carolina Lake Weights, and they sell Randy's Rattle Rocket, but then I'm with Demon Dragon, and I run the hell out of those too. I'll put them both on the same rig. Now, I don't go over to Demon Dragon and talk about the Rattle Rocket, and I don't go into Carolina Lake Weights and talk about the Demon Dragon, but I do use them on the same rigs. Some of them are just put them one on, but I rig them variety of different ways. So,
right,
they generally, one of them works better than the other, but it's not a higher percentage that they like one or the other. They just certain day they want the Demon Dragon, and then different day they like that Rattle Rocket. I don't know what makes it that way, but I'm gonna put them all on because.
Right.
Yep.
So speaking of that, this thing right here has ruined me as a fisherman. This is an underwater camera.
The Go Cam.
Oh yeah, that's
the
cool.
Go Fish Cam, Chris. That's what I was telling you about Saturday night at dinner.
So I'm not posting a lot of the footage that I'm getting with this thing, but this thing's infuriating me because of everything that you. So here's the thing: in catfishing, there's no actual science out there. Like in bass fishing, there are scientific studies that tell you everything with tagged fish, migration patterns. There's no official studies on catfish that actually exist. Everything's technically mom and pop, grandpa, what you and I have patterned based on our own personal experiences, etc.
Right.
This thing right here tells me so much more than anything I've ever been told. I suggest everyone get one of these. This is the Go Fish Cam. Whatever brand you get, it doesn't matter. Use a GoPro and hook a light up to it. You're gonna learn so much more off of this. It's not even funny. Not even funny as far as learning, like, what's going on the bottom of the river. Hundreds of fish. I'm not even kidding. I'll go out. I'll catch 3 to 4 fish. The hundreds of fish that come up within an inch of your bait and just swim away.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. This winter we are dragging through 7-8 feet thick of fish. They're so freaking thick you can't even tell what fish is what. And in that drag, you'll catch 20 fish. And so you drug through tens of thousands to catch 20 of them. That's what blows my mind. It's like, what made those 20 decide to buy it? And it was a great day, but still only 20 of them out of 10,000. You would think a higher percentage of those would be like, I'm eating that free meal that's dragging an inch in front of my face. Why aren't they eating that? I mean,
That's
maybe
why
that camera could tell you something.
That's why I totally disregard. So the old saying is like, if this fish can't lift this weight off the bottom, he's not worth catching. If this fish can't put this bait in its mouth, he's not worth catching. I completely disregard that statement anymore because of that. I cannot tell you how many big fish and little fish just swim up, they follow it for a second, and just swim away.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't think it's a matter of like, here's the thing. A 50-pound fish doesn't get to 50 pounds without not being caught a couple times. And it's like, you know what I mean? So like, he did something to get to being 50 pounds. He probably didn't get caught once his entire life. I don't think they're as dumb as we give them credit for. I get it. Their brains are the size of a pea, but at the same time, I feel like they have a much better sense of what they should and shouldn't be eating than we give them actual credit for.
Right. I think, when I first started catfishing, it was still, anybody can go out and catch a catfish. It don't take any skill to go out and catch a catfish.
I've heard that. That drives me
nuts. Guys. Oh, the only reason you're a catfish angler is because you can't catch bass. And
here's the thing. Why does your fish eat a plastic bait and no one can go out and catch my fish on a plastic bait? I mean, you could, but like consistently. It doesn't happen.
Catfish anglers started out bass fishing. And why? Because it's very easy.
And then we grew up.
They're on every shoreline. Yeah. They're on every little bump.
I've got more bigger bass now catfishing than I ever did bass fishing.
Yeah, because you're out there fishing areas that bass fishermen probably aren't around. So I'll catch a 10-pounder dragging a rattle rig, and they're like, the bass fishermen are like, "Where'd you get that?" I'm like, out in the middle of the lake on a hump. They're like,
Chris, I hope
beating the shoreline,
I hope I can pull this video up if I can find it. So this guy's in Texas. He drags and suspends chicken, and he caught multiple 10-pound bass in the lake just with chicken. And I'm like, oh, the bass purists must be so mad that he's catching 10-pound bass targeting catfish, but he's catching them with chicken. I hope I can find the video. I probably can't, but I hope I can find it. Give me one second.
I'm glad you brought in or mentioned the chicken part, because there for a second you had me worried that it was Chris out there pissing off all the bass fishermen. So, I guess, I don't know. Chris, unfortunately, you probably weren't able to take a lot home with you since you flew out.
I didn't. Kevin gave me some planer board. He gave me 3 sets of boards. You got a set. I gave a set to Jamie. I brought home his new set that he just came out with.
Yeah.
There was some other stuff I wanted to take home. Somebody gave my son a rod. I gave that away to somebody else. Wasn't a Mad Cat, so I'd be a fool to put a different rod on my boat after what they've done for me.
Right.
Other than that, Jeremy at Tackle Bandits, he said I could have a rod rack, but I was like, can you just bring that to me whenever you drive through Dallas? So that was basically it. I got some hats from Matt. I didn't really buy anything. I'm pretty much stay stocked up. My wife's like, you don't need anything. Don't be coming home with a bunch of crap you don't need. So I didn't.
That's where my wife went wrong. She didn't tell me don't come home with a bunch of crap you don't need.
I don't even know what I would have bought. I mean, I don't need anything. I got more rods than I know what to do with. I got freaking 30 catfish reels.
Yep.
I stay stocked up. I got enough tackle to supply a freaking army in the barn that doesn't get used. So,
well, Jeremy,
what did y'all buy? What did you guys buy?
That right there.
There you go. Well, that's gonna bring you some luck.
And that.
Oh hell! Well, I got one of them.
Cool.
I already got one. So.
Go big, go home,
like
and real
logo.
men, big kitties. So, no, those will probably be the 2 favorite things that I brought home. Jeremy, what'd you bring home that
Yeah.
you feel like you just couldn't live without?
Oh, I got the girls a couple flex rods to catch bait. I did get 3 of these pins because we're getting ready to go paddle fishing. So I wanted some line.
Oh, nice.
I got a big spool of slime line, but got a
There
bunch
you
of
go.
peg floats, some demon dragons. Well, he actually gave me the demon dragons for free because we bought 3 reels.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, so he made out like a fat rat off of your real purchase, and you were happy you got some demon dragons. So, Mike, did you end up taking anything home with you?
At the actual CatCon, I think I took a pair of grippers home, but that was because I already spent like $1,000. So the problem is I worked 4 other shows this year. Every show I told myself I ain't buying nothing. And I left with $300 to $500 worth of gear every damn show. So it's just like CatCon, I was like, I gotta put my foot down and just not buy anything else. I bought a bunch of bump and reels. So like in the kayak world, we're always looking for efficiency. So I want one rod, one reel, everything to do everything, like suspend, drag, etc. So I bought a bunch of bump and reels this year. And bump and reels aren't cheap. Reels are one of those things where like everything else in fishing, any hook's going to technically catch a fish. Any rod's going to catch a fish, etc. Reels are the only true thing I've ever noticed that you buy cheap, you get cheap, you buy expensive, you get good. Like it's the only true thing I've ever noticed. You get what you pay for in the fishing world. Not to say, and I'm not pan brushing anything else. You know what I mean? But like this guy right here, like this guy is a game changer for me in the bumping world. I tried buying like the $50 generic. I took it out once and it stopped working. It didn't have enough line capacity. And it's like, you gotta be kidding me. So yeah, I bought way too many reels this year. But it wasn't at the CatCon. Luckily at the CatCon, I didn't. With Ryan, I spent money. I wish Ryan was awake.
Everybody spends money when Ryan's around.
Yeah, I wish Bortz was on here. We somehow at a dive bar, we somehow ran $102 tab up between the two of us. At a dive bar. I walked up to the one lady. I was just like, I'm like, hey, where's my tab at? She goes, $86, and I'm like, how'd that happen?
Yeah. So what you're saying is when we go places, we need to keep you and Bortz kind of separated afterwards.
No. What I'm saying is when we go places, you guys got to join us. You got because we have no regard. We have a good time.
You didn't want us there. Texas, Nebraska. I mean, after that many people for that many hours and that much concrete, we would have had your tab at $400.
That's funny.
So, but yeah, no, I think overall, I think it was a great show. Definitely room for improvement. Needs more stuff. Kid friendly. I think they're on the right track, but they can do better. I'm curious to see where they improve for next year. I guess, is there anything? I know, Jeremy, you said you had a couple things you wanted to talk about while we were on here.
We covered them. We covered it.
I just
want everyone to get along. I'm sick of seeing the back and forth between companies, and I've used about everything under the sun in catfishing, and it all works. So it's just to each their own.
I think as it grows, it'll probably improve. These new companies, they all compare each other to one another, and I think a lot of the infighting comes from the customers saying mine's the best. No, mine's the best.
Yeah.
No, F you, mine's better.
You nailed it.
And then they end up having like issues. It's like, well, I'm with these guys. F those guys. So,
well, and that's the other thing. If you're new getting into catfishing, they all want to jump to sponsorships. And honestly, 95% of sponsorships, they're just paying you to be their customer. Because normally you're not going to go buy 20 rods. You're buying 20 rods because you got 30% off. So they know you're a guaranteed customer, and they just paid for you 30% to get you as a customer.
Yeah,
I know some of the teams that I'm on, they invite you after you turn other people on.
Yeah.
Some teams, they want you to be super high level. Every team I'm on is different. So, for instance, Demon Dragon, they want you to be out there promoting to people, giving out your code, promoting that way. Mad Cats, they want you catching big ass fish. They want you to be loyal to the brand, but their number one thing is they want to see you putting the freaking hammer down on them. They won't even sniff you unless you're doing big things. But then there's some of them just want like tournament anglers that are super high level tournament guys. I think each one's a little bit different. Like I'd say, multi-bar, they just want guys that they think are going to represent the brand. So they've got tournament guys. They got, guys like me that are just fun fishermen. But, I've turned a lot of guys on to multi-bars over the last few years. So he just reached out and was like, hey, man, appreciate everything you've done. We'll bring you on. What you get out of it is really nothing other than just being on a team, lake cred, really, amongst other anglers.
Yep.
Most of us guys that get on a team already have the products. We bought the products before we were on the team. When you get on the team, it's not like you're just going to go buy all this other crap. Oh, I get all this discount now. I get 50% off. So some of them, like Minotaur, they give me hooks, but then some of, multi-bar gave me my multi-bar, but other ones, they give you a discount, and then they reward you when you do good. Like if you're good at it, it's a promotional thing.
Yeah.
If you can promote,
that's the name of it.
That's pro staff. Pro staff. Man, I
think
so many
there's
anglers make me
different
mad.
types of pro staff. So like Mad Cats, their pro staff does not promote. And the majority of the guys that are on that pro staff are professionals. They are like super high level dudes that are not, you won't see them promoting Mad Cats. They promote Mad Cats by going out and catching 80, 90 pounders. But then you've got other brands that they just want you putting that code out there, putting out little clips and crap like that. It's all good, man. It's just these companies need help, especially when they're first starting out. I think it's cool that guys want to help. They can't afford to pay people to do this crap, and dangling a little carrot. We'll put a stripe on your sleeve, give you some free crap. Makes it worth it for a lot of guys to want to do that. So,
right. I think a lot of it, like Jeremy said, these new anglers coming in, a lot of it, I think, is the lake creds more than anything.
Yeah. But a lot of guys just want free shit.
Yeah,
I agree.
I don't disagree.
That's the problem.
Oh yeah, they jump around,
but they don't actually want to do anything.
But
they're like, what do I get out of it? And I'm like, well, if you're asking that kind of question right up front, you're not going to get on with any of these teams. They don't want to hear that crap. They want to, they want it to be a mutual beneficial deal where you need to be using the stuff first, right? My majority,
1,000,000%. It's all about credibility too.
High level dude.
Exactly. It's all about credibility. Like, dude, look, Kayak Catfish can come in here and take any product and sell 1,000,000 of them because he's Kayak Catfish.
Right.
But if somebody like me, like if I randomly jump on a new team and just start saying this is the best ever, everyone's gonna know I'm full of shit because I'm 1,800 subscribers. You know what I mean? I don't have the following in the backing. I have to make sure it's proven and it works, which is, I mean, honestly, this is why I love Jamie and Rebecca so much, because I told them, like, if you're going to take me on your pro staff team, I cannot promote you until I use it, just so you guys know.
Yeah.
And they were cool with that. And I was just like, if they force me to put ads out before I use the product, I would have been like, well, I can't be on your team because I'm not going to sell out like that. Like,
Right.
for two reasons. One, it's just me personally. I won't. I'm not a 150,000 subscriber guy. I don't have the acumen to do that. So like, people, the worst thing is people in my position expecting free stuff. That's what irritates me the most. Like, you have to realize where you stand on the hierarchy of things, and sometimes, no offense, you're not there. And I'm not like that. I'm one of those people. Like I don't go into something expecting something for free. I always buy something full price first, just to make sure it's cool. But I couldn't agree with you more, Chris, on the whole, like, people come in expecting free stuff, and it's like, well, who are you? If you're
what do you have to offer, really?
Exactly.
I mean, but it shouldn't be that conversation right in the beginning.
Depending on who you are.
Right.
Business,
if you're some big time
wise.
guide,
but there's not a lot of us.
Or if you're some huge tournament champion,
yeah,
you're going to be given free stuff.
Exactly.
But at that point, you've earned it. You've put in the work. You've put in the hours. You've put in the credibility.
Exactly.
At that point, you deserve the free stuff.
Yes.
But I think we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
I think it's literally split. I'm going to say probably 50-50. You have 50% of these new anglers that come in that want the free shit.
That drives me insane.
The other 50 that want in, and all they want is the stripe on the badge to brag about when they go to the lake.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They'll never use this product, but they just want the stripe on their sleeve. So when they walk in somewhere, they can kind of put their shoulders up a little higher than everybody else.
Yeah. And, I'm on a number of pro staffs, and every one of them's different. There's the guys that are on the team are all different. Some guys are really, they want to be a team player. They know the team concept. They embrace that, and they rocking and rolling with it.
Right.
Other guys, they get on there, and then 3 months later, they just freaking disappear.
They got their free stuff
badge. They thought that was cool.
Right.
But then they don't.
Oh, did we lose Chris?
Oh no, he's gone. I'm glad we got to chat about this.
Yes,
because people don't know behind the scenes. Chris and I actually chatted about this. We were on the same exact page, coming from two different angles.
Right.
And I'm glad we got. So I should have made a phone call, because we're on the same. Literally, we're on the same exact page, just two different angles.
Yep. I agree.
Oh no, Chris!
When he'll come back in. When Chris reached out to me and invited me onto the Carolina Lake Weights page. Yep, there he is.
Not sure what happened there, guys.
Yeah, I don't know. But like I said, like when Chris reached out to me to be on the Carolina Lake Weights page, it was an honor. Most of these companies you have to reach out to and just show that you're interested, because if you don't have the credibility, they don't even know who the heck you are.
Right.
So to me, coming from, I literally just started my YouTube. I had 10 subscribers. I had started this show on TikTok. But I've used the product. I knew Jamie. I knew Rebecca. We knew who we were. We knew what each other had done, where we started, where we're at. We've used the product, and we believed in the product for several months before I was ever invited onto the team. And to be invited, to this day, it's not even a team. It's more of a family, like Chris called it.
Yeah, some of them are teams and some of them are family like that. So
this is definitely a family.
Like Demon Dragon's like a team. They just were like, hey, I know we've heard that you were with Demon Dragon before we bought them. We'd like to have, we don't have anybody on our team like that. We want you. I'm like, okay, cool. I use them. Why not? I mean, sounds like a good fit to me. Free Demon Dragons, hell yes, give them to me. So I mean, I was promoting all that crap anyway. For me, guys, like, you do a lot of work. I'm like, I was doing this shit before I was on any of these teams. Guys ask me what's your rig? I hold up my rig. This is a Demon Dragon, 6-7 years ago, and they're like, oh, okay. And it just progresses over time. You show them your planer board. What kind of planer board? Okay. Before you know it, the guys buying planer boards are going over to Kevin saying, "Hey, Azul sent me over here to buy some planer boards." He reaches out. He's like, "We'll get you on the team." I think once you get on one, it's easier to get on the next. Once you get on three, the fourth one comes really quick.
Right.
And it just kind of steamrolls from that. It's going to be whatever products your guys like. How do I get on a team? I'm like, first of all, use the products, believe in the products, build some type of following, catch a bunch of fish, and then go on these groups where these guys that are running these companies post your crap on there talking about how much you love it. And then when your guys want to buy this crap, say, "Hey man, give me a shout out." And it's really that easy. I mean,
And I'm going to branch off of that comment right there. Using what you believe in.
that's the biggest part.
That is the number one ticket. One, to get on a team, and two, what we talked about before with all this in-house drama with the anglers. It all needs to come back to what you believe in. Use what you believe in. If you believe in Mad Cats, great. Use them. If you believe in Meat Hunter, use them. If you believe in Catch the Fever, use it.
I agree. Use it, but be loyal. If you're one on that team, you best be loyal. You get on that stuff. It doesn't happen overnight either.
No, it's a lot of work, a lot of hours on the water, a lot of hours away from your family.
Yeah.
I
know that too well. So every time you see me like typing away from the keyboard, that's me like putting fires out with the woman upstairs. I'm so sorry. I'm screaming. I'm really, really, really excited about this topic. I know we have a 4-year-old.
Right.
But no, I totally feel you about the credibility with like the items. Like, use them. And just be something that does irritate me though in the not just catfish world, just hobbies in general. Name a hobby. Just because you're putting something over doesn't mean you're putting others down. So, you know what I mean? And I hate when I see somebody put something down to promote something else.
Yeah.
I personally, I won't be part of that community. Like, I won't. Like, there are certain brands I will not touch, and it's not the brand fault. It's the community, because they are notorious for like, "Oh, this rod snaps at the tip, blah, 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 blah," and they cry about it. And like, they try and promote their brand by putting another down. At the end, like we all said earlier, at the end of the day, everything catches a fish at some point in time. Like, push why you're good. And just because you're pushing why something is good that you use doesn't mean you're putting someone else down. Everyone always assumes you're putting someone else down. That's not what we're saying. Like Meg, I love Matt Knight. Look, I want to be perfectly honest. Matt Knight could be selling a bamboo stick with 50-pound Tesla, a 10-foot 50. I love that man. I barely know him, and I love that man. And I would try and sell his rods. Like, seriously, he is one of the coolest dudes I have ever met in my life. He has no reason to be as nice as he is to me as he is. Like seriously.
He's generally a nice dude. When
I love that. I do. I genuinely love that man. So, like, I have a bunch of his bumping rods over here. I don't know. You guys probably can't see them and everything. The orange ones. Like the orange rods. And they're good bumping rods. Like, don't get me wrong. They work. They're great. I've used them. But, like, I not only do I sell the rod, I sell the company. Like, he's a great person. Like, I'll happily sell a company. The product has to be good. And then, like, the company itself has to be genuine. Uh-oh. We lost Mad Catter. Chris, you got a rat in there?
No,
What's
I'm
that?
here. I just had a little girl come out in her underwear, and I didn't think you'd all want to see her.
Yeah, what's cool about Mad is when I switched rod brands, they were really a fledgling company, and I thought they looked cool, and they had all the features that I wanted that $140 rod cost. And I called him and I was like, "I want to try one of your rods, and this type of fishing I do, these are the fish I catch." And And I was talking to some guy in the warehouse, and he's like, "Well, Matt's walking through. He's the owner. Let me put you on the phone with him."
I know, right?
And they put him on the phone, and he talked to me just like regular dude, and we talked rides for 20 minutes. And then, so I ordered one, and ever since then, we've been cool. He's like, "Let me give you my number if you got any questions." Gave me his freaking cell number. And he's just that kind of dude. He'll pick up the phone when you call, or he'll answer your text back. I tell my guys, go buy a ride, and tell Matt I said that that I sent you. They'll write it in the little message box. Zool sent me, and he'll call them on the phone and personally thank them for buying 1 or 2 rides. And he sold 177,000 rides last year.
Yeah.
The number 2 ride company sold 44,000. He's that dominant. But really down to earth dude, one of a kind type guy. But he's when you buy a Mad Cats, it's like becoming a part of the family.
Yeah, it's different. It's hard to explain.
And even the customers, they're like, "Oh, you got Mad Cats? What's up, brother?" I mean, it's not like that with any other ride that I've ever bought. I've owned a lot of them, and no one's ever treated me like that when I bought one. I was just another number. So,
right. So I don't want to cut you off here. First night, we're switching this to YouTube. I'm going to cap this about 90, 95 minutes. Try and keep our shows a little shorter than we did at TikTok. We had a few that we ran about 5 hours long until 3 in the morning. And I think I'm gonna put a cap on it about 90 minutes, 90, 95. So
I was gonna say
here, and
I got darts to shoot. Like, all right, this is gonna sound crazy, no joke. I shoot steel tip online darts from home.
And
yeah, no, it's like an online league. It's an online league. Yeah, once we get off here, I'll be shooting darts. As sports, I'm pretty good, even with one eye. I whoop Bortz's ass with one eye.
That's funny. So, I guess while we're down 10 minutes in, is there anything you guys want to make sure that we get put in here? Anything y'all want to say, add? Anything you took away from the CatCon?
It was a great time. I can't wait to do it again. Even after I came home tired and beat to hell, I just was like, man, it was a whip, but man, it was a good whipping. So I'm going to go back and do it again for sure. It's going to get bigger. Going to continue to grow.
It's definitely going to grow. Before we get off here, I'm going to pull up and confirm Catfish Crappie Conference.
My only shout outs, I'll shout out now while you're pulling it up. Online catfishing tournaments. If you just look that YouTube channel up or that Facebook group up, I'm not going to go through all the sponsors, but they've been really cool this year. And we have a potential of, it's not official yet, but we have a potential of being a really, really big kayak division alongside of a already established giant boat trail. I can't, it's not official, so I can't claim what it is yet, but if you're a kayak fisherman, our trail next year might be huge. Our trail this year is like, it's out of the world for us. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, our world, it's pretty crazy having $1,000 guaranteed per winner and $200 big fish and more per event. But if you follow along next year, we might be part of a really big trail. We might be the kayak division of a really big trail next year. That's all I'm going to say.
Yep.
It's not official though, so I can't announce it.
Right. So, confirmed dates for next year, Louisville, Kentucky is February 23rd and 24th. So put it on your calendars. We will be there with Carolina Lake Weights as well in August 11th and 12th in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. And that's only the start of it for us. As far as Kansas City show, I haven't heard nothing confirmed whether they are going to have it or not going to have it. I think they're still trying to work a lot of stuff out for that show yet. So, I guess, I mean, for me, that's all I got for tonight. If there's anybody else that's got anything, Jeremy, anything you want to cover while we're on here?
Nope, just check out the YouTube channel. We're getting ready to go striper fishing this weekend, so that'll be fun.
All right, yeah, you've been busy traveling all over. Y'all were down in where Milford catching some cold water channel cats and blue cats.
Yeah,
If y'all want to see a crazy lady run through for a catfish polar plunge, go check it out on their YouTube. If you want to go see a 7-year-old drop a rod in the lake, go to Chris's.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun.
Mike go dump his kayak, or Bort's dump his kayak, go to Mike's page. So, but
Now we just need to get you going.
I know. I'm waiting for some ice to get out of here.
Yeah.
We're already about to hit the spring transition, so we're going shallow this weekend. First shallow trip of the year, so
That's
we'll
my
be
favorite.
shallow. We'll be shallow for at least 6 weeks. We'll be up in 6 inches of water, maybe 2 feet.
Yeah, that's about where they were. They threw that the one catfish back, and she had to run out about 20 foot, throw it in the water because it was so shallow. So, but all right, guys. Well, I appreciate you all for coming in tonight and hanging out with me. And I think we're going to keep this on YouTube for a while, and we'll just kind of grow this channel on here. And so we'll just plan on seeing guys back next week at 8:15 Central Time, Mike. Central Time.
All you need to tell Ryan is I was early.
I'll tell him.
Yeah.
He'll
He's
blow-
asleep.
You'll
No,
blow
he's
his mind,
asleep.
but I'll tell him you were early.
He's leaving to go pre-fish our tournament at midnight tonight. So,
Dang.
but yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Our tournament is this upcoming Sunday. Midnight tonight, he's leaving to go pre-fish for the rest of the week.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
that guy's crazy.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. So, all right, guys. I'm going to shut her down for the night, but I appreciate you all for coming in. We will be back next week, and we'll come up with a topic and see who we can get on here next week. So, all right, guys.
See
We'll
you
talk to
guys.
y'all later.
Y'all have a good one.
You too.
You too.